It is 10:52 on Thursday, December 31st, 2020, which means it's New Year's Eve. Hi, I'm Josh Rackless until I come up with a better stage name. Maybe that should be my full stage name. Anyways, you get it. I'm just out for a jog. I'm starting off the year with some exercise, and I'm starting off the year with some positivity. Lately, I've been doing walks through the Byward market here in Ottawa, and I did one on Christmas Eve that's gotten a lot of views, and it was called, I'm sad and alone on Christmas Eve. And then I did another one on Boxing Day, and I want to try something a little different. I want to try being funny. I think we've established that I'm sad and alone, so we've covered that. You can go back and watch years of my videos if you'd like to catch up on that. And we're going to try a little positivity. We're going to try being funny, because my funny thing is, see, right now there's a couple of security guards outside the U.S. Embassy there. So let's move on, because they're starting to look at me like, what's this guy doing? Now, I don't know if they can technically do anything, like about a guy talking on his cell phone in public, but we don't need any security trouble right now. We're trying to be funny. We're making comedy. So what I've done in the long past is just walking around and making funny comments on things. A commercial director years ago in Miami told me, I wish I could follow you around all day and hear your funny thoughts on things. And then I made some short films in the past about that kind of thing. Like, here I am observing, I don't know what it is, like a commercial set or whatever. So we're going to try doing that right now, or at least this will be a little tourism thing. See, there's a good-looking couple back there. I don't know if you can see it. That's how I envision myself. I envision myself as a good-looking couple. That's not weird at all. The York Street Spa is open for business. So what I'm doing here is now giving you a tour, because people have commented, or at least one woman on Facebook said, thanks for taking me on a walk. And then somebody else commented like, oh, you have such a nice area to walk around in. Like, he's in Ottawa, but in Alta Vista. I'm like, well, you can come downtown in Ottawa, But I guess I'm saving people the trouble here. So this is your little tour of downtown Ottawa on New Year's Eve. Doesn't look a lot different than Christmas, although at Christmas it was raining and it was dark, but that's because I was out later. So you can see there's an Ottawa sign there, very nice. This should be the thumbnail for the video. And then there's the Parliament Hill behind it. They're doing construction on it. You can't go in there for 10 years now, and they've moved over to the building next door. That's a long time. So if I have a kid now, I guess when my kid is 10, they can do a little tour of Parliament Hill. We've got York Street Spa over business. That sounds nice. I haven't had a facial or a massage in many years. We've got a pub. We've got something called Oh So Good, which sounds like food. There's the Fairfax, the gentleman's club, but it's where women are for men's entertainment, I guess. I went there 15 years ago, maybe longer. Oh God, maybe it's like 20 years ago now, with a couple of friends that came in from Toronto, and we were hanging out, and that was quite the adventure. Actually, I'll tell you that story. I never liked getting, lap dances or whatever, because I thought, I don't want a woman to talk to me just because I'm paying. That seems like not good for my ego. But there was one girl that went on stage. I'm like, oh, she seems really nice, really natural, like brown hair and glasses, kind of my type. And so I said, all right, I'm going to go in the back room with her. And my friend is like, okay, but she's going to try to keep you in there longer, so don't go in there too long. Like, get out of there after half an hour. I'm like, yeah. But I went in there, and we're just sitting, and she starts dancing, and I'm just talking to her. And at some point, she's just like, oh, you just want to talk. So she sits down, she starts talking about her boyfriend and complaining about men and whatever. And then I'm like, do you want a massage? So I'm just rubbing her shoulders. And so she's getting there a shoulder massage and basically a therapy session. And then at some point, I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, oh, this has been 2 hours. And I come out and I owe her like a few $100s. And my friend's like, what were you doing in there that long? I'm like, I don't know. I just was talking to her. And then I was like, well, here, do you want my email address? And she's like, well, if I give it to you, you're just not going to come back. You should come back later. Because I guess she saw me as like, an endless ATM at this point. That's a bank machine in Canada. And finally she took it. And then, so we went out, and then we left. And then later I met up with this girl that I'd come to Ottawa to see. And for some stupid reason, I mentioned that we had gone to this strip bar, and then instantly she was like, what? And in my own head, I was like, it was just a fun little adventure. But in her head, she was like, you came to see me and you went to this, so she wouldn't talk to me when I blew it. And she was like an amazing girl and had sent me presents in Toronto. I met her at a bar earlier, and when we'd met like a few weeks earlier, and then I said, my friends, we got to go see this girl. That was the whole point of the trip. And then when we first met up with her in the bar, my friend Steve was like, oh my God, I've never seen a girl so into a guy. Like, she was all over me, and this could have been my wife. That would have been very good. Her name was Jen, like most of my girlfriends, but she spelled it cool, like with an H, like Jen or something, which I thought was very creative. And then that was it. Oh yeah, and then so we went back to the strip club later because I think I went for dinner with my parents. I'm like, I want to go back and see that girl. No, I think that was at this point. That's when I told Jen that, oh yeah, I got to go back to talk to that girl. Because to me, it was just like making new friends and stuff. And so Jen, I guess, decided she didn't want to hang out with us. And then we went back to the bar, and the girl left. And this other girl working there said, oh, well, she thought you weren't coming back, so she went back to Montreal. I'm like, oh. And then she did wind up emailing me. And for months and months after that, she would call me every few days and just ask for guy advice. Like, well, what should I do with this guy? Or does this guy like me or whatever? And that was it. And I think she was working for a car dealership. And yeah, so who knows what she's doing now. So that's my story of the Bare Facts. That's the one time I was in there. What else we got? We've got Le Moulin de Provence, which I showed you in the previous video. There's a picture of Barack Obama there buying some cookies. That's their claim to fame, because he was in Ottawa once. We got Irving Rivers. They corner the market because it's a corner and we're in the market. That's their little play on words on their sign there. And they make fun stuff for camps. Here's the sign of a guy saying, protect me, surviving the pandemic, disabled artist, musician, needs care, staff for self-life. Oh, is that what this is? Okay. I've seen this poster. I never read the rest of it. I always thought it meant like, hey, I have a pre-existing condition. I would prefer that, stay at home, wear a mask. That's how we should protect you. But he was actually making a sign asking for people to donate financially. So that's good. Hopefully I just helped promote him. Behind me we have a mom and daughter. Looks like sort of a teenage daughter. And I'm very jealous of people who have grown kids. Okay, we're not going to go into this thing because, last night I was doing speed dating and talking to, it was a 45 plus age category. So all these women had kids and grandkids, and they were saying how great it is that their kids are grown now and they're friends and they can hang out. And sometimes she just has to remind them, hey, I'm your mom. So that's why people have kids, because then you've got a ready-made circle of people who love you and have memories with you and then stuff to do with. So anyways, that's what I could do a whole video about whining about again. But there she is. And then on the way here on the jog, I saw a couple of dads with, it looks like 5-year-old girls or something. I'm like, that'd be cool too. Their little squeaky voices and asking questions and whatever. So, but it didn't occur to me. I mean, well, I guess if I wanted a 5-year-old girl, I'd have to start now, and then in 6 years I'd have one. But then it would take a few years to... Anyways, okay, no, let's not spiral down that. We're giving you a tour of Ottawa. So we've got the Clock Tower Brew Pub, which I think the original one is on Bank Street and has a clock tower, and that's why they're called that. If this something is opening, that's exciting. I'll bet you $10 it's a cannabis store, because that's basically everything's closing these days and becoming cannabis. So meta cannabis, oh my God, yeah. How right was I? I am a genius. Okay, and then we've got something else for lease, so you can see things are, I guess, having some financial difficulties in the pandemic here, but I'm sure they'll be fine. There's vaccines coming out, and this is a little historic district. Earlier in the summer here, this was all closed, like for traffic, or I guess, yeah, because people were out on the patios and eating when you couldn't eat inside, so that was all very nice. Vapnanda, so that's probably a vape store. So yeah, it's all about illicit drugs here today. Has this turned into a comedy video yet? I was supposed to be like, look at this, look at that, funny observations, but what am I gonna, there's nobody around, which is kind of nice. That's the kind of thing I liked about the pandemic, that I felt like, okay, well, everybody's inside, it's okay, I'm not missing anything, it's not like if I was at Frosh Week right now, like. And then I thought, did I cause the pandemic? Because here's I mean, just in terms of the butterfly effect. Like if I had done anything different, you know, maybe, because I keep saying, well, it's fine that I sold the condo because, you know, it would have just been trapped in it anyways or whatever. But if I had done anything different, maybe the person wouldn't have eaten the bat, or the virus would have been a different part of the bat, or I don't know, and not been released. So, but I guess you can't start thinking about that, like how you just random everyday actions affect things you have no idea about. You gotta do yourself. The haunted walk ticket office. Okay, that's fun. So they would have, and I love how it's in this old building. You got to go into the old building to get the ticket for the haunted walk. Let's show you where the ghosts of the Byward market. Oh, see, that's fun. And there's the mother and daughter there having their coffee. Wouldn't that be nice? You know, say, hey daughter, we're gonna go for a walk. We're gonna get a coffee. And what's that building down there? That's a big one. That looks nice. So yeah, this is just the Byward Market. There's some pubs here. So I like these old tiny types of pubs, and that looks like there's probably a nice patio on top of the roof. And I think this is the American Embassy. That's where we were starting there. And so it's, you know, got good security and stuff. My hand's starting to get cold. That's what it's like in Ottawa. And this is a strip. I had dinner on the Zach's patio this summer, or this fall, with a woman I met up with. I haven't talked to her since. I should try to find her in my phone and say hi. We had a nice chat. Got the Blue Cactus. I think I went there when I was young. I like the name. It makes me think of, like, I don't know, margaritas and nachos and stuff. Yeah, so I guess not much going on for New Year's Eve. Normally there would be like fireworks on Parliament Hill, I think. There hasn't been any of that this year. I always love these stores that just have these little statues. Like, at what point did they put these in the window? And they've just been sitting here for years and years. And then at some point, like, does anybody buy it? They're like, oh, I need this guy. This is what I'm looking for. You know, or they, you know, can I have this girl with the little legs that dangle on the shelf or something? You remember these? Okay, that's not what I'm thinking of. But you know those little dolls where you can push the button and then the thing collapses, and then it's kind of fun. Little tiny tea set. It's very cute. Little plant keeping brightly lit area. I don't know what I'm doing now. Surely no one is still listening. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be my comedic thing. So this is just my little, we'll call this just a tour of downtown Ottawa. You know, if you're somewhere else, then you can be like, oh, this is what the city looks like if you were walking around on New Year's Eve. And then after that, and this is what it looked like if you were like a couple, I think. Sometimes I can't tell if it's a mother or a father-daughter, but that looks like a couple. And that's nice too. There's a payphone. Remember these? Does it still work? Yeah, I can hear a dial tone. Very cool. What? Free nickel. That's 5 cents. Anything here? I used to go into you look for the coins. Okay. Maybe I could go back to the bank. I was just at the bank earlier and deposited some paper money and coins that I got from returning some beer bottles. And now I've got another nickel. I got to go back, but it's not necessary to go back. If you're looking for gelato, here's a nice gelato place. And this is, I forget what this is called, Byward Market, Marché by. So I wonder, is this the area called the market, or is this actual building called the market? I'm not sure, but I guess the whole area is the market. And then this is just, maybe that's the name of the market, like this area, but this building probably has its own name. Maybe it's the Byward Market. I don't know. So there you go. There's your walking tour of the area. I try to avoid that place because they play music loud, and then I'm afraid I'll get demonetized on YouTube because copyright music is playing in the video. Oh, these are okay, look, let's just go see what these people are doing here. This is like, my battery is saying battery low, even though it was fully charged when I came out on this walk. Partly the battery is old, because it's just a friend's used phone. And then partly, I think when it's so cold, the iPhone can't last. So that's the problem here. But let's see, what do people line up for? Cheese? Or is it the liquor store? Let's see. We've got a fruit market. We got Byward Bargain Center. Let's see. Art is in. Is it here? Are they here for fish? Are they buying New Year's fish? Seems to be what they're doing. Oh, is it donuts? Is it donuts or fish? Donuts or fish? It looks like they're all lining up for fish. Wow, 5 people at a time. So apparently, is New Year's fish a thing? Is that like, you know, like Christians eat, I don't know, isn't there like a day that you eat certain kind of food like Fish Friday or Lent or something. Not sure what it is. Salmon Saturday. Anyways, so, all right. Well, if you're in Ottawa, I went to that club once. I think even just like 5 years ago, I was out with a bunch of girls. I met this girl in a bar like 20 years ago in Ottawa, and I gave her my business card, or I threw it into her cab as she was leaving. That was fun. And then we somehow, I guess, did I have her number? I remember we called her from a payphone at some point. My friend Adrian was visiting. Anyways, she took me out with a bunch of girlfriends of hers, maybe like 5 years ago, and we wound up at that club sort of dancing. That was kind of fun. And then, yeah, here we are. That's the cafe I sat in the summer on the little patio there. My phone was broken at that point. It didn't have Wi-Fi, so I wasn't doing much, but just sort of sat there. And new condos and hotels going up around there. Oh, there's the new hotel. And yeah, nice patios here, very nice patio. So I guess, I mean, you know, it'd be a nice life to have a condo right there and then walk out and enjoy the market. But I guess, I mean, I just walked, 15 minutes and got here myself, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to live exactly in the area. Is it macaroons or macarons or macaron? I thought it was macaroons, but it's spelled macarons. Macarons and coffee. That's always what I wonder about the chocolate or those little cookie things. And then there's a TV station, CTV, and there's radio stations in there, and that's kind of cool. That'd be my dream. I messaged some people at CTV this summer saying, hey, can I come be your intern? And one guy got back to me and he was like, well, I'd have to ask Bell, like, 'cause it's a big company that owns it, and you can't just show up and here I'm working. Like, there's procedures and stuff. So fortunately, there's no procedures to get onto YouTube. You just do it. Okay, am I gonna get killed here? I feel like, oh, that's a stop sign. Didn't there used to be stoplights here? I feel like there really did. Maybe I'm just thinking of those lights. All right, and here's the big mall. Maybe I'll walk in there and see. Well, I think, while it's locked down in terms of, the stores aren't really open. You can maybe stand outside some of the electronics stores and buy something. I don't know what to buy, though. I want to get a couple of Google hubs for the rest of the house so people can go, ask it to do stuff. Like, I was noticing last night my mom was playing her radio loud because I think she has a problem with her ear that plays like sounds in her head, so she wants noise to sort of drown it out while she's sleeping. And I was like, I did a little test with the Google thing in the kitchen, and I said, just play rain noise. And it did. Boom. White noise, rain. And then I did a little test. I'm like, hey, play the radio for 3 seconds. And it did. I'm like, so she could go, hey, play rain noise for 30 minutes or whatever. I think that'd be very nice for her. So I'll see if I can make some money today. Maybe this YouTube video will make money and I'll buy her stuff. HMN is open. We've missed you. Well, I've missed you too, I guess. Yeah, and then down there is where I visit Charles at his store. And then down here would be Parliament Hill, and that's where I'd run back home. And there's Cash Money, where I would get cash advances at loan rates that they recommend not doing, if you ask anyone else. Oh, and there's another clock tower. Wow, that's good. So, all right, there's your tour of downtown Ottawa on New Year's Eve. And if you want one of these random walks every day, let me know, or just click like and subscribe to my channel. And look at that, there's a hat. Should I pick that up? That is not a bad hat. That looks like actual fur. Well, if you see me wearing this later, you'll know I picked it up. Happy New Year, everyone.